If you're a woman over 60, you've probably heard this advice at some point. Take it easy. Don't push yourself too hard. You're not as young as you used to be. But here's the truth that might surprise you. That well-meaning advice could actually be speeding up the aging process. A groundbreaking study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine followed over 80,000 adults for nearly 2 decades. The researchers discovered something remarkable. Women over 60 who did strength training just twice a week reduced their risk of early death by 21%. That's not a small number. We're talking about 1 in 5 women potentially adding years to their life simply by lifting weights or doing resistance exercises. But here's what makes this even more important. The same study found that the women who benefited the most were the ones who had never done strength training before. In other words, it's never too late to start. The real danger isn't in trying. The real danger is in doing nothing. Because after age 50, women lose muscle mass at a faster rate than men. On average, women lose about 1 to 2% of their muscle mass every single year after menopause. That might not sound like much, but over 10 years, that's up to 20% of your muscle gone. And with that muscle loss comes something much more serious, the loss of independence. Think about it. The ability to carry your own groceries, to get up from a chair without using your arms, to climb stairs without getting winded, to play with your grandchildren without worrying about falling. These aren't small things. These are the activities that define whether you live independently or whether you need help with daily tasks. My name is Dr. Henry Miller, and for over a decade, I've worked as a health educator, specializing in senior wellness and healthy aging. I've seen firsthand what happens when women neglect their muscle health after 60, but I've also witnessed the incredible transformations that happen when women decide to take control of their strength, their balance, and their future. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 essential strength training exercises that every woman over 60 should be doing. These aren't complicated gym movements that require expensive equipment. These are simple, safe, and incredibly effective exercises that can be done at home with minimal equipment. And the best part? You can start today, regardless of your current fitness level. But before we dive in, let me know in the comments how old you are and where you're watching from. I love connecting with my audience from all over the world, and it helps me understand who I'm speaking to. All right, let's get into this. Before we talk about specific exercises, I need you to understand why strength training is so critical at this stage of life, especially for older women. When most people think about exercise for seniors, they think about walking. And yes, walking is wonderful. It's good for your heart, your mood, and your overall health. But walking alone won't stop muscle loss. It won't strengthen your bones, and it won't improve your balance in the way that resistance training does. Here's what happens to a woman's body after menopause. Estrogen levels drop significantly. Estrogen isn't just a reproductive hormone. It plays a major role in maintaining muscle mass and bone density. When estrogen declines, your bones become more fragile, and your muscles break down faster than they rebuild. This is why osteoporosis affects women at 4 times the rate it affects men. According to the National Osteoporosis Foundation, 1 in 2 women over the age of 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis. 1 in 2, that's half of all women. But strength training changes this equation entirely. Beyond bones, strength training also protects your joints. As we age, the cartilage in our knees, hips, and shoulders begins to wear down. This leads to stiffness, pain, and conditions like arthritis. But when you strengthen the muscles around your joints, you create a natural support system. The muscles take on more of the load, which reduces stress on the joints themselves. And then there's balance. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related deaths among women over 65. Every year, 1 out of every 4 older adults falls, but less than half of them tell their doctor. Why? Because they're embarrassed, or they think it's just part of getting older. It's not. Falls are preventable, and strength training is one of the most effective ways to prevent them. When you build strength in your legs, hips, and core, you improve your stability. You're able to catch yourself if you trip. You're able to navigate uneven surfaces with confidence. You're able to move through the world without fear. Now let's talk about the 5 exercises that can help you do exactly that. The first exercise every woman over 60 should be doing is the sit-to-stand, also called the chair squat. This is one of the most functional exercises you can do because it mimics a movement you do every single day, getting out of a chair. Now, you might be thinking, I already get out of chairs all the time. Why do I need to practice this? Here's why. Many women over 60 have started using their arms to push themselves up from a seated position. They place their hands on the armrests or on their knees and use their upper body to stand. This happens so gradually that most people don't even realize they're doing it. But this is a warning sign. It means the muscles in your legs and hips, specifically your quadriceps, glutes, and hamstrings, have weakened to the point where they can't lift your body weight on their own. And once you lose the ability to stand up without using your arms, daily life becomes much harder. You struggle to get out of bed. You have trouble using the bathroom independently. You can't get up from a low sofa, and if you fall, getting back up becomes nearly impossible. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that older adults who couldn't complete a sit-to-stand test 5 times in a row without using their hands were at a significantly higher risk of losing independence within the next few years. This simple movement is a powerful predictor of future mobility. The good news is that this exercise is easy to practice, and it builds strength fast. Here's how to do it. Start by sitting in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Your knees should be bent at roughly a 90-degree angle. Sit toward the front edge of the chair so you're not leaning back into the backrest. Cross your arms over your chest, or hold them straight out in front of you for balance. This is important because we want your legs to do the work, not your arms. Now, lean forward slightly from your hips. This shifts your weight forward and makes it easier to stand. Then, press through your heels and stand up. Keep your chest lifted and your core engaged. Pause at the top for just a second, then slowly lower yourself back down to the chair with control. Don't just drop into the seat. The lowering part of the movement is just as important as the standing part because it builds strength in a different way. That's 1 repetition. Start with 5 to 8 repetitions and do 2 to 3 sets. As you get stronger, you can increase the number of reps, or you can make it harder by using a lower chair, or by holding a light weight at your chest. This exercise strengthens your thighs, your glutes, and your core. It also improves your balance because you're practicing the movement of shifting your weight from sitting to standing in a controlled way. Do this exercise 3 times a week, and within a few weeks, you'll notice that getting out of chairs, getting out of your car, and standing up from low surfaces feels easier and more natural. The second exercise is the wall push-up. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Push-ups? I couldn't do a push-up when I was 30. Why would I try now? But here's the thing. A wall push-up is not a floor push-up. It's a modified version that's safe, effective, and perfect for women over 60. And the benefits are incredible. Push-ups, even modified ones, strengthen your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, and your core. But more importantly, they strengthen the muscles that help you push things away from your body. And this is a movement you do more often than you realize. Think about it. Pushing open a heavy door, pushing a shopping cart, pushing yourself up from the floor if you fall, pushing a grandchild on a swing. All of these activities require upper body strength. Upper body strength also supports good posture. As we age, many women develop a forward rounded posture, where the shoulders roll forward and the upper back curves. This happens because the muscles in the chest become tight, and the muscles in the upper back become weak. Wall push-ups help reverse this by strengthening the muscles that pull your shoulders back and keep your chest open. And good posture isn't just about looking confident. It's about breathing better, reducing neck and shoulder pain, and maintaining balance. Here's how to do it. Stand facing a wall, about 2 to 3 feet away. The farther you stand from the wall, the harder the exercise will be, so start closer if you need to. Place your hands flat on the wall at shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Your fingers should point up toward the ceiling. Step your feet back slightly so that your body forms a straight line from your head to your heels. Engage your core by pulling your belly button in slightly. This protects your lower back. Now, bend your elbows and lean your chest toward the wall. Keep your elbows pointing slightly downward, not straight out to the sides. Lower yourself until your nose or forehead is close to the wall. Pause for just a moment, then push through your palms and straighten your arms to return to the starting position. That's 1 repetition. Start with 8 to 10 repetitions and do 2 to 3 sets. As you get stronger, you can step farther away from the wall, which increases the difficulty. This exercise is gentle on your joints, but it's highly effective at building strength. And because you're standing, it also engages your legs and core to keep you stable. If you practice this exercise 3 times a week, you'll notice improvements in your ability to push objects, your posture, and your overall upper body strength within just a few weeks. The third exercise is the standing march. This one might seem simple, but don't let that fool you. The standing march is one of the best exercises for improving balance, coordination, and hip strength. And those 3 things are absolutely essential for preventing falls. Here's what you need to know. Your hip muscles, especially the hip flexors and the glutes, play a huge role in how you walk. Every time you take a step, your hip flexors lift your leg, and your glutes stabilize your pelvis and propel you forward. But after age 60, many women develop weak hip flexors. This makes it harder to lift the legs, which leads to shuffling. And shuffling is dangerous because it increases the risk of tripping over small obstacles like rugs, curbs, or even cracks in the sidewalk. The standing march also strengthens your core, which is the foundation of all movement. A strong core stabilizes your spine and pelvis, which allows you to move efficiently and safely. Here's how to do it. Stand tall with your feet hip-width apart. You can stand next to a wall or a sturdy counter for support if you need it, but try to use only your fingertips for light balance, not your whole hand. Engage your core by gently pulling your belly button toward your spine. Keep your shoulders back and your chest lifted. Now, slowly lift your right knee up toward your chest. Aim to lift it to about hip height, or as high as you comfortably can. Don't worry if you can't lift it very high at first. Even a small lift is beneficial. Hold your knee up for 1 to 2 seconds, then slowly lower your foot back to the floor with control. Repeat with your left leg. Continue alternating legs in a slow, controlled marching motion. Start with 10 marches on each leg, which is a total of 20 marches. Do 2 to 3 sets. As you get stronger, you can increase the number of marches, or you can try holding each knee lift for a longer period of time, which challenges your balance even more. The key is to move slowly and with control. This isn't about speed, it's about building strength and stability. You can also make this exercise harder by letting go of the wall or counter and marching with your arms swinging naturally at your sides, just like you would when walking. This exercise improves your ability to lift your legs when walking, strengthens your hips and core, and enhances your balance. And all of those benefits add up to a lower risk of falls and a greater sense of confidence when you're moving around. Now, before we move on to the final 2 exercises, if you're finding this information helpful, please take a moment to hit the like button below this video. It really helps more older women like you discover this content. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos on healthy aging, nutrition, and wellness specifically for older adults. Alright, let's continue. The 4th exercise is the standing calf raise. Your calf muscles, located at the back of your lower legs, are often overlooked, but they play a critical role in almost every movement you make. Walking, climbing stairs, standing from a seated position, and maintaining balance all require strong calves. Here's something most people don't realize. Your calf muscles act as a secondary pump for your circulatory system. When you walk or move your feet, your calf muscles contract and help push blood back up toward your heart. This is especially important as we age because circulation tends to slow down, which can lead to swelling in the lower legs and feet, and even increase the risk of blood clots. But beyond circulation, strong calves are essential for balance. When you stand, your body is constantly making tiny adjustments to keep you upright. Your calf muscles are responsible for many of those adjustments. If your calves are weak, your body has to work much harder to stay balanced, which increases the risk of falls. A study from the University of North Carolina found that older adults with stronger calf muscles had better balance and were less likely to experience falls compared to those with weaker calves. The researchers also found that calf strength was directly related to walking speed and the ability to navigate uneven terrain. Calf raises are also important for ankle stability. Weak ankles are a common problem among older adults, and they're a major contributor to falls. When your ankles are weak, they're more likely to roll or give out when you're walking on uneven surfaces. But when you strengthen your calves, you also strengthen the muscles and tendons around your ankle, which creates a more stable foundation. Here's how to do it. Stand tall with your feet hip-width apart. You can stand next to a wall, a counter, or the back of a sturdy chair for light support if needed. Place your hands on the support surface, but use it only for balance, not to hold yourself up. Engage your core and keep your body in a straight line from your head to your heels. Now, slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet by lifting your heels off the ground. Lift as high as you comfortably can, feeling a strong contraction in your calf muscles. Pause at the top for 1 to 2 seconds, then slowly lower your heels back down to the floor with control. That's 1 repetition. Start with 10 to 12 repetitions and do 2 to 3 sets. As you get stronger, you can make this exercise more challenging by holding a light weight in one hand, or by doing the exercise one leg at a time. If you find it difficult to balance on both feet, you can start by keeping your heels on the ground and simply shifting your weight back and forth from your heels to the balls of your feet. This is a gentler variation that still strengthens the calves and improves ankle mobility. This exercise should be done 3 times a week, and you'll start to notice improvements in your balance, your ability to walk on uneven surfaces, and even the appearance of swelling in your lower legs, if that's something you struggle with. Strong calves are the foundation of stable, confident movement. The 5th and final exercise is the standing hip abduction. This exercise targets the muscles on the outer side of your hips, particularly the gluteus medius. This muscle might not be one you've heard of before, but it's one of the most important muscles for balance and preventing falls. Here's why. Every time you stand on one leg, even for just a split second, your gluteus medius fires to keep your pelvis level. This happens when you walk, when you climb stairs, and when you shift your weight from one foot to the other. But after age 60, the gluteus medius tends to weaken, especially in women. When this muscle is weak, your pelvis tilts when you stand on one leg, which throws off your balance and puts extra stress on your knees, hips, and lower back. Weak hip abductors are also a major risk factor for hip fractures. A study published in the Journal of Orthopedic Research found that women with weaker hip abductor muscles were significantly more likely to suffer hip fractures compared to women with stronger hip abductors. The reason is simple. When you trip or stumble, your hip abductors are responsible for stabilizing your pelvis and preventing a fall. If they're weak, you're more likely to lose your balance and hit the ground. Hip abduction exercises also help reduce knee pain. Many women over 60 experience knee pain, especially when walking or climbing stairs. Often, this pain isn't caused by a problem with the knee itself, but by weak hip muscles. When your hips are weak, your knees have to compensate, which leads to poor alignment and pain. Strengthening your hip abductors can reduce this pain and improve your overall movement quality. Here's how to do it. Stand tall next to a wall or a sturdy counter for support. Place your left hand on the support surface for balance. Keep your feet together and engage your core by gently pulling your belly button toward your spine. Now, keeping your right leg straight, slowly lift it out to the side. Lift it as high as you comfortably can without leaning your upper body to the left. The movement should come from your hip, not from leaning or tilting. Your toes should point forward, not up toward the ceiling. This ensures that the correct muscles are working. Hold your leg at the top for 1 to 2 seconds, then slowly lower it back to the starting position with control. That's 1 repetition. Start with 10 to 12 repetitions on each leg, and do 2 to 3 sets. As you get stronger, you can increase the number of reps, or you can add a light ankle weight to make the exercise more challenging. If lifting your leg to the side is too difficult at first, you can start by sliding your foot out to the side along the floor without lifting it. This is a gentler variation that still activates the hip muscles and builds strength. This exercise strengthens the muscles that stabilize your pelvis and keep your hips level when you walk. It improves your balance, reduces your risk of falls, and can even help reduce knee and hip pain. Do this exercise 3 times a week, and you'll notice a significant improvement in your ability to balance on one leg, walk confidently, and move through daily activities with greater ease. So there you have it. 5 simple, safe, and incredibly effective strength training exercises that every woman over 60 should be doing. These 5 exercises work together to address the most important aspects of healthy aging: strength, balance, mobility, and independence. And here's what makes these exercises so powerful. They don't require a gym membership. They don't require expensive equipment. You can do all 5 of these exercises at home in about 15 to 20 minutes, 3 times a week. That's it. Less than 1 hour per week. But in that 1 hour, You're doing something that can add years to your life, prevent fractures, reduce pain, and help you maintain your independence for as long as possible. These exercises are not about becoming an athlete. They're not about competing with anyone or proving anything. They're about taking care of your body so that your body can take care of you. Because the truth is, the way you move today will determine how you move 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and beyond. If you do nothing, your muscles will continue to weaken, your balance will continue to decline, and your risk of falls, fractures, and loss of independence will continue to rise. But if you take action, even small, simple action like the 5 exercises we've covered today, you can change that trajectory. You can build strength, you can improve balance, you can protect your bones, and you can live a life that's active, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's never too late. Not at 60, not at 70, not at 80. The research is clear. Strength training works at any age, and the women who benefit the most are the ones who start when they think it's too late. So don't wait. Start today. Start with just one of these exercises. Do it for a week, then add another exercise, and another. Before you know it, you'll be stronger, steadier, and more confident than you've been in years. If you found this video helpful, I'd love for you to show your support by hitting the like button below. It really helps this video reach more older women and also start their own journey towards stronger, healthier aging. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos on healthy aging, nutrition, and wellness specifically for older adults. Also, drop a comment below and let me know which of these 5 exercises you're going to try first. Or, if you're already doing any of these exercises, share your experience. I read every comment and I love hearing from you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.